Right now we're in the Lincoln Lot of Waterfront Park, and behind us is the new Abraham Lincoln Bridge, so it's fitting that we're down here. This bridge behind us will carry 6 lanes of I-65 northbound. It's the first new bridge in Louisville in over 50 years to cross the river, and Walsh Construction opened this to traffic in December of 2015. So the purpose of this project is to improve cross-river mobility in the Louisville metropolitan area. So that's between downtown Louisville and southern Indiana. We have congestion, we have substandard geometry in the interchange south of the bridge. And so what the Ohio River Bridges project, specifically the downtown crossing, aims to do is increase capacity across the river. So we'll be going from 7 lanes to 12 lanes when the project's complete. In the interchange itself, where 64, 65, and 71 all come together, we're changing how traffic accesses the interstate. So we're getting rid of some weaves and merges that made congestion even worse. Our sister bridge, the East End crossing, we're 2 bridges, 1 project. That's about 7 miles, 7.5 miles upstream, connecting Prospect, Kentucky, and Utica, Indiana. So that adds another 4 lanes, 2 lanes in each direction of cross-river capacity.
We are standing near the Ohio River, about 8 miles upstream from downtown Louisville, on Upper River Road as it goes out of Utica, Indiana. One of the biggest changes that will occur is the speed with which one can get from where we're standing to just the other side of the river. Right now, if you were to go from where we're at to the other side of the river, it'd take you every bit of 35 to 40 minutes. And when this is completed, to get across there, it's going to take less than 5 minutes from one interchange to another.
I believe these bridges, the conversation on them started when Dwight Eisenhower was president, way back in the 1950s. And the need was there, people saw the need, but there were so many issues to be addressed. How you paid for them, obviously, but also where they should be and how many there should be and would they be told, and all of these kinds of questions. And it would come up and then it would go away, and it went back and forth for years. Right after I was elected and took office in December of 2007, I went to a national governors conference and met Governor Daniels from Indiana. He is a Republican, I'm a Democrat, but we hit it off immediately and said, look, we've got some issues in common that we need to sit down and discuss. We ran into a number of big issues. Tolling was an issue. Indiana wanted to use a public-private partnership to build these bridges. Kentucky legally couldn't use a public-private partnership. So that was a problem. And so we had a number of issues to overcome.
East End Crossing is a public-private partnership, a P3 contract, and Indiana Finance Authority is the contracting entity for Indiana.
Indiana procured a developer led by Walsh, so that's Walsh, Vinci, Bill Finger, and Kentucky for the downtown crossing got the Walsh Design Build team. So while Walsh is represented on both sides, they're separate entities for the purposes of these 2 projects. They're run separately. They're run independently. There is some back and forth. What did you learn up here on the downtown crossing, guys? What did you learn down there on the eastern crossing? So we're seeing those benefits by having the same firm represented on both sides, but they're really operating independently of each other. For the downtown crossing, we have a very good, I think, and it's almost a unique relationship with Walsh down here. Certainly unique for any other project that I've been on. We're co-located in a hub office down here in downtown Louisville. So we have an office on site. So as problems come up, we're right there working on it together.
I certainly think the fact that the same company basically won the bids on both bridges probably helped it. Obviously, they had to compete for that, but they ended up getting both contracts, and it probably helped from a coordination standpoint. Our conventional financing ended up being great, but I certainly would tell you that I tried to get P3 authorization for transportation projects in Kentucky in the last few years I was governor, because there are at times advantages to that, and it's certainly a tool that you ought to have in your toolbox. You ought to be able to consider building something with a P3 setup. Both Governor Daniels and I decided early on we can't build these bridges without tolls. It was obvious from a financial standpoint. We needed a combination of financing vehicles to come up with the money to build these bridges. I don't know anybody who likes tolls. I don't like them. I don't want to pay them. Nobody wants to pay them. But the bottom line is that in these days and times, if you're going to build a major project like the Ohio River Bridges project that costs $2.1 billion, something like that, you've got to come up with the money.
You have to look at what your needs are, and kind of evaluate what price you're paying by not having the project in place. So there's, by not allowing yourself to grow, not allowing yourself to improve your safety, improve your situation transportation-wise, and you weigh that with, what if we go and procure these, sell these toll revenue bonds in order to move this area forward? So that's what was weighed there. We needed a new system. We needed an improved system, and the area was stymied by having a choke point in downtown Louisville. So what this project does, it addresses a lot of those transportation needs and safety needs. The all electronic tolling, so we won't have toll booths. Traffic will flow just as it would as if there were no tolls there. So that'll be it'll be a neat way to get your project when you need it, allow the cities to grow, and it'll pay itself off in about 35 years. Is what we have the bond set up for. It gives you a safer transportation system. It gives you more options. What with the East End crossing to get across, and also there's going to be economic impact associated with that too. And you're already seeing that. With what's happened with the Eastern Crossing, what they're doing in River Ridge in southern Indiana, how that's starting to develop because of the promise of that bridge. I mean,
If you put this down on paper, you'd say this is not going to happen. There's just too many moving parts here. But we made it happen. And really, in the end, we made it happen in a very simple way. We trusted each other. Governor Daniels was putting the people of Indiana before his political concerns. I was putting the people of Kentucky before my political concerns, and because we did that, we were able to work together. I wasn't worried about a Republican getting some credit for this, and he wasn't worried about a Democrat getting some credit for it, because we knew in the end what was best for the people of our two states, and we put that first. And anytime you do that in government or in politics, it turns out all right. That's the best way to get something done.